Yay! I always do that at the beginning. I was like, shocked. I didn't expect it to work. So welcome to a beautiful Friday. We are going to have a little chat. So I'll just introduce myself first of all, and then I'm going to talk to you about what we're going to talk about today. But as I say, it's a lovely start to the weekend. At the moment, it's not raining here, just looking out the window. Rain is forecast, but hopefully, how is it your end?
None here. I think it's changed. I've heard today that it's changed. We're going to have some sun.
Oh, fingers crossed for the
That's
bank.
it, thinking.
So, as people join us, if you want to say hello, if you follow the instructions, if you are not registered with StreamYard, because if you don't, I can't see who it is. And I'd love to know. Hello, Jodie. Oh, this is right up Jodie Street, actually.
Hi, Jodie.
So if anyone else jumps on, just let us know who you are. If you watch on the replay, same hashtag as usual, hashtag replay. So we are live in our free community group. We're also live on my Facebook page, and we are live on YouTube as well, which is quite exciting. So my name is Charlotte. I'm the founder of Exhale, and I say this every time, but just in case there's anyone out there that doesn't know, Exhale is the UK's first mind-body class to combine breath work with beautiful, gorgeous sequences of really easy movement, all designed to help you just relax and settle into super easy meditation. And meditation actually makes a massive difference to your life. And we do all of this set to really modern music. So that's how we're different from any other meditation class that you've been to before. Hi, Anne-Marie. It's lovely to have you here as well. So today, I've had a slight change of plan. For those of you that don't know, I had a car crash. It was horrendous. And I had 2 weeks planned of lives and trainings and all exciting events. But actually what I found after the first 3 days of doing that, my whiplash would not allow me to continue, because you will see that I talk loads with my hands, which is then affecting my shoulders, my neck. So I'm trying to take it a little bit easy. But this live, I wanted to plow on with, because if there's one thing that you need to watch, it is this. So I love all of it. So important. And I think I'm joined by the best person really to talk about this, because law of attraction, manifesting, all vision boards, all that kind of stuff can feel really woo-woo and really out there and really weird. But what I love about Caz, who's joining me today, is that she has this really amazing knack of making the woo stuff feel modern, feel normal, feel like implementable. I think that's the right word that I want to say. So to introduce Caz, she's an amazing friend of mine, but also she is a fabulous writer. So she's a published writer. She's really good at what she does. She also is trained, she'll tell you maybe definitely training to be a counsellor or work with that in that kind of arena.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yes, she's a founder of the amazing group, community, blogging space called Crank Club. And she also is an amazing Exhale meditation instructor. So she's going to talk us through this. But the reason why I wanted to do this live in particular, as I say, it's the one that I think is going to make the most impact for the most people. But also because what I wanted to get across to people is that you can make a difference. You can create the life that you want. It might not happen overnight, but you can get there. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about with Exhale, one of the reasons that I do it, one of the biggest transformations that I see with our instructors when they come on board and start building businesses with us, is that what I teach them, really, strip it all back, is how to fall back in love with who you really are. So how to let go of all the fear, all the doubt, all the worry, all the hurt, all the pain. We teach you essentially how to let all of that go. And it's from that beautiful, pure place where you kind of reclaim who you always were, who you always meant to be, and who you always were, you just kind of forgot for a little bit because of life and because of stuff that happens to us. You know, once you're at that balance point you're then able to move forward and step into your full potential. So all of these big visions and dreams and that we kind of hide and we disown as we grow up, I suppose, and we say, you know, well, I've got to get it real now, I've got to get a proper job and all that kind of stuff. Get all of this amazing potential, and that we forget about the limitlessness of who we really are. So it's a massive passion of mine to help women in particular remember that it's all possible and help them start to create the life that they really deserve. So that's why we're doing it. So before we go any further, I just wanted to say, with Caz, do you want to introduce yourself and then also and let me know how you came about becoming an Excel instructor and why you chose us, I suppose, and link it all into everything we're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm Caz. I came across Exhale, I'd say purely by chance, but I don't actually believe that it is. So
Suddenly, I was looking for something. Suddenly, there you were.
Exactly.
So action happening.
I came across meditation. I was having a particular hard time in life, like you've just said. Then not knowing like where you're going, where your place is as a woman. I like kind of got disillusioned with my career as a teacher. I was having a really hard time with stress, and I'd found meditation just because somebody had said try meditation. I got on YouTube, found a bit of meditation, and started doing it. And it was amazing. It changed everything for me, like literally for having that time, because I was always someone that, and I still have tendencies of that, but not so much of acting or speaking without thinking. Like just literally I was so passionate about stuff that it would just bubble out of me, and I'd be saying things and doing things before I'd even thought about it. Hence why I had about 30 different careers before the age of 30. So that's why. So what meditation let me do is just pause for a little bit and think and like listen to what it is that was really going on and what I really wanted and what I really needed to do. And then that changed my whole life. Doing that, I changed everything. I changed my career. I got rid of a really crappy relationship. I started doing like exploring my spirituality so much more and doing things that I wanted to do, and changed everything. And then I found Exhale, and I was like, oh my God, there's like, it's a thing. Other people are doing it. And it was like, it wasn't, whereas I'd gone to like Buddhist meditation classes before, which are amazing, but it was all very spiritual. And I loved the Buddhist centre where I went, but when you sat there on a hard chair for an hour listening to a whole scripture and a whole sermon before they get to the meditation, you kind of get a bit of a numb bum, and you're like, you just want to get on with the meditation now. Whereas like, so I liked the fact that Exhale was very practical and it was very easy to access for everyone. So yeah, as soon as I found it, I just messaged Charlotte, and then we had a chat, and then that was it straight away. We talked about the moon in our first conversation, and we were both like, yeah, we both love the moon, and then that was it. So I was like, this is my place, I need to be here. Yeah. And then having trained as an instructor and meeting everyone else, I was in the academy, so met everyone through the Exhale Academy, and the support that I've had through being like friends of like Charlotte and lots of the other instructors has just been everything. As much as the job and the training as an Exhale instructor, it's been like the community and everything that's been part of it. There's just nothing else like it.
Oh, perfect. I love that. We love having you part of the team. And do you know what's really amazing about our team as well? You'll agree with me. There's so many, like you're a specialist really at what you do, but there's so many specialists, so many women that are just literally standing in their power. And there's something so beautiful about the support. You know, just like a circle of women there's nothing else like it, is there really? So I feel like we are really blessed that we have so many amazing women in our team.
Yeah, definitely. And they're not just the support through Exhale as well. So like the other instructors have supported me with my Exhale training, but also like they all do other things as well. Like, so I've run Crank Club as well, which is an online community all about spirituality, but like spirituality for real life. So like my catchphrase is spirituality doesn't require yoga pants. So it's like real people engaging with spirituality. But then there's also like lots of the other instructors who have their own communities, who do their own things as well, and it's like support with that as well as with the actual exhale training and the classes. So we're all awesome, and we've all got loads of things going on, and it's just good to all bring it all together.
Yeah, I know, I love it.
Hey guys, squad goals.
Oh yeah, exactly. We could just talk about that. There'd be like a whole live on that, but we'll go to the point of this.
Yeah.
So the other day, I was talking to my boyfriend about this kind of thing, and he was like, "What the hell is this one about?" So literally, no concept, no clue. What I mean, if I say manifestation, doesn't get it. Law of attraction, what the heck's that? He thinks that's like a like a sexual thing, like being attracted to somebody, So he hasn't got any concept of it. So if you were to talk to him about it, and you would probably need science behind it to make him sort of get on board with it. How would you, and same for anybody else that is watching, it's like, what are they on about? What is this? And why is it relevant to me? Can you talk us through that, like the 101? This is what you need to know.
Definitely. So the law of attraction, it sounds like a cult, and most people think it is like a bit like that. What it all comes from is, well, it's this book. I've got the book here. So most people have heard of this book, and anyone that's found the law of attraction has usually found it via this. The book it's not even really a book, it's a scrapbook of all different quotes, different teachings from like way back to like ancient Hindu scriptures right up to like modern day psychologists. And it all boils down to one thing, is that there's energy in the world, and everything vibrates at a different frequency. So it's not just like spiritual energy, that happens in physics as well. So Einstein is one of the philosophers that has agreed with the law of attraction. Don't want to annoy too many sciencey people to say that he founded the law of attraction, because he probably didn't even know it was a thing. But he in the laws of physics, it's all the same. There's always vibrations, and things vibrate at different frequencies. And the law of attraction is that we can attract that to us, whatever it is that we want in the world, by vibrating at the same frequency. That's what it boils down to. It's all about vibrations and energy. But what it is really, essentially, in practical terms, is that you can have anything you want, and that's true. And it's not about, so most people tend to think, oh yeah, I can't just say I want a big new Range Rover and the next day it's going to be on the drive. No, it doesn't work like that. But the world is there for us to take, and we can do whatever we want in it. And there are certain techniques within the law of attraction that make that possible. And those are the things, when it comes to the science agrees. So it's one of the main principles of the law of attraction is around gratitude, and that's something that I believe in quite a lot, and something that I talk about on Crank Club loads. Yeah. So the idea of the law of attraction is that if you show gratitude and you do gratitude practice, you raise your own personal vibration, because if you're grateful for stuff, you feel better about life in general, don't you? That's how it is. So and then what that does is then that attracts more of that amazing stuff to you, because you're vibrating at the same frequency as the good stuff, so you get more of the good stuff. So gratitude practice is really important in the law of attraction, but from a psychological point of view as well. So I'm studying positive psychology at the minute, and I adore positive psychology. And basically, positive psychology is the science of well-being, the science of a good life. That's what it is. And positive psychologists believe in the power of gratitude as well. So it's not just these law of attraction, whatever hippies, yogis, whatever anyone wants to call them. It's actual science, and research backs up these theories as well. So gratitude practice, for example, it's been proven that engaging in gratitude practice every day does things like increases happiness, helps with sleep, it lowers stress, it lowers blood pressure, and there's a whole load of physical things that have been proven by research that are because of gratitude practice.
So how would you, what would you say, because I know what he's going to say to me, what is the gratitude practice? What would I do?
Yeah, it's really simple, and you'll probably find if you go on YouTube or you look for books, there's 100 different ways that you can do gratitude practice, and everyone's trying to sell you different ways to do gratitude practice. But basically all it is you can get a piece of paper or like have a gratitude journal, just a notebook, and every day just writing down, today I feel grateful for, and listing things that you feel grateful for. So the things in your life that you feel grateful for, that make you happy, that bring you joy, it's just acknowledging them. That's all it is, and it's the most simple practice. And there are loads of different techniques to it, and there are loads of different journals you can buy and loads of different things that can help with that. But what it boils down to is just being thankful and appreciating the things that you've got in life that make you happy. Because we all know when you sit and think about the things that are good in your life, you automatically start to feel better. And if you get up in the morning and sit there every morning and think about all the things that are going wrong in your life, then you're going to start to feel less happy, depressed, and you're just going to not feel very good. And then that's our vibration being lowered. So it's all about anything that raises that vibration, and that's what the law of attraction boils down to, really.
Amazing, really. And I think this is something, I've actually skipped like a one-on-one there for boyfriend's benefit, because obviously it's me talking. It's just me. It's a bit like when I try and teach Joey, my little boy, how to meditate. It's like, it's just mummy. It's what mummy does. So it's always better when there's an expert coming and talking about it. But what I wanted to add to that there was that what has been amazing recently, and I know you've been training with us for this as well, but we've created a new concept, a new class, which is called Power Up. And essentially, when you break it down, it is raising your vibration. That's the whole point of it, and we do as part of these sessions, obviously it's the instructor's choice, but the actual technique that we're teaching involves this gratitude, this sitting in this space and drawing on all of those things that you can be grateful for, and even just starting with that concept of like, oh my gosh, I'm alive, even if there's nothing else for me to be sort of happy about the moment, like life is a gift. And after the couple of years, I say couple of years, feels like a couple of years, after the year that we've had, like just to say we survived it, we're surviving, we're alive, and just tapping into that gratitude is it's so powerful. And I know that you geek out over things like this as well, but like we've been looking into the science of how generating that feeling within your body can actually physically change your physiology. So not only is it changing your, like you mentioned before about blood pressure, like 100%, it's incredible. Not only is it affecting your emotional state, it's improving your physical state as well. It's changing the way that your heart beats, it's changing the way that you breathe, it's changing your hormone levels. Well, to me, it's just mind-blowing, and the connection between mind and body, it's just like a whole nother level of like the fact that we have this knowledge now and that we're sharing it with people. I just think it's just amazing, because when we were younger, like we knew this, maybe the spiritual teachings were out there, but there wasn't all of this science to back it up, was there? So I think
that's definitely it. I mean, I've done the Power Up training, and that movement and that the whole uplifting nature of it is really in line with the law of attraction completely, because it's about being grateful, and gratitude practice raises your vibration, but you've got to feel it. It doesn't work if you just sit and like blindly just write every day, I feel grateful for the same things every day. The massive big part of it, which some people maybe don't realise, is that you have to feel it in order for your vibration to raise.
Bit, isn't it? Yeah. Get like, and as you say, they might well have read The Secret, but that it doesn't. I don't really feel like that comes across in the movie or in the book. I just think actually that's like the crucial bit. So
It
can
is.
you talk us through like why, I know we said a little bit about that, but what are these missing bits? Just quickly say hello to Alice and Emma. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, what are the biggest bits that you see people getting wrong, or that you see other people talking about this stuff and missing? What's the missing bits? What are the secrets?
The biggest thing, I've done quite a lot of research into the law of attraction and the psychology of it. And the biggest thing, the biggest criticism of it is the self-blame that comes with law of attraction, which is something that we have to be really careful about, because like anything, if there's something good, if there's something that's working for people, there's always someone out there trying to like cash in on it, make money from it, and trying to like exploit it. And that is what has happened with the law of attraction quite a lot. So there are a lot of people out there that are trying to teach you how to law of attraction better. And if you're not doing it right, then it's your fault, and that's why you've not got your dream life. And that's one of the things. So it's very much about feeling. It's not so much about the technique. So that's the one thing that I would say to anyone that's new to the law of attraction, is not to focus on the technique. So, for example, what I always say to anyone that I'm working with is, the law of attraction is like, when you get up in the morning and you feel good, you make a coffee and it tastes amazing. You get ready, you're confident in your outfit, you put your makeup on, it goes right for the first time, you're feeling good, you go out the door, you're on time, all the traffic lights turn green on the way to work, and like you rock up and you're feeling like good. And then that day, that's the day when good things are going to happen. You just roll. It just comes out. Once you've got a good start, it just starts to roll in and more good things happen. And that is what the law of attraction is. It's just feeling good and trying to lean into that good feeling as long as you can, because then that's when more good things happen. That's when your vibration is positive and everything else just flows. And I know we're quite a lot about flow in Exhale. It's quite important to us. And that is more important than whether you are writing down everything in the right order, whether you've got the right books and whether you're following the right teacher. It's more important is understanding. It's that feeling. And we feel joy and we feel excitement in our body, like physically feel it in our body. And it's finding what it is that gives you that feeling and doing more of it is basically what the law of attraction boils down to.
It is. It's beautiful, that actually, isn't it? We just think, actually, we just want, your life is just about having fun. I'd say finding joy, really, and that's the game of life, isn't it? Like stripping everything back. So, like, actually, what does bring me more bliss? What feels gorgeous to me? And as you say, just doing more of that. What I would love to add to that as well is that actually, like, and I know you're the same. Sometimes there has been points in my life where I've sort of woke up in the morning and I thought, what, I'm not happy. I'm not in a good place. And I've really struggled with trying to get myself into that joyful state. That would be too far a reach. But one of my sort of top tips, I suppose, for that, and I'll ask you yours in a second, but would be about hacking again. I love this, hacking your physiology. So just moving your body, like if you can't think, we essentially can't think ourselves, because if you think about it, when you are down, or you're really low mood, or something not great's happened, like we close ourselves. It's the same when we're stressed, our bodies, it might be very subtly, but our bodies are designed to, when we're in that fight or flight state, to close us in, to make us smaller, to protect us, I guess. So just, if you think about that, how you feel on those down days, you are really closed down. That sends a message to your brain to continue, that things aren't safe, things aren't right. Let's continue to stay in this fight or flight or freeze mode. But what is really incredible is that if you can notice that within yourself, open up your body. I mean, this is just one of the things you can do. There are so many like this, but open your body up, stand with your chest lifted and your gaze lifted to the sky. That is going to start to tell your brain and in turn your body to start to come out of that really negative thinking, because part of that negative thinking is our body's protection mode. So when we're in that stress state, or when we feel down, our bodies are trying to sort of keep us safe. So the logical scenario for the brain is to go, let's think about all the worst case scenarios right now. Like, it's your brain trying to keep you safe. So what we can do is by telling the body, by using the body to tell the brain that we're safe, by opening up our bodies, by lifting the gaze to the sky, then it helps us shift our emotional state. So that's the easiest thing. And if that all else fails, put on, I've shared on my stories this morning, one of our instructors, Marie, dancing her little socks off to her favourite song. Reels. If you don't want to exhale with Marie, you need to, because it's your morning boost. So if you can't do anything else, just get the music on and have a little dance, because that will shift your emotional state so that you're able to drop into that state of gratitude. So therefore you can allow the law of attraction to work for you. But what would your top tip be? Because I know you've been there as well. So how do you get yourself out of that low mood and that low vibration?
It's exactly like what you said. It's the law of attraction is you're not going to vibrate from feeling fed up and miserable of your life, staying in bed all day, to being a millionaire in one jump. It's like it goes in stages. It's about vibrating a little bit more. And it's Gabrielle Bernstein says, what is it, reach for the next good feeling or something like that, whatever that is. So it's about vibrating a little bit higher than what you are right now. So if you're feeling really miserable, whatever it is, whether that's moving, putting some music on, eating a bar of chocolate, going for a walk, seeing a friend, like putting on some comedy, having a laugh, whatever it is that's going to make you vibrate a little bit higher is what you're reaching for, and that's what you need to do. And not again, it's back to that self-blame, not beating yourself up because you're not vibrating up here, because all that's doing is taking you further down. So it's being very aware of your vibration, but also being kind to yourself and just trying to like reach a little bit higher each time. So that's one of the things that I would let's say, and yeah, being very aware of where you're vibrating, of how you're feeling at the time is quite important. So journaling is really good for that, because sometimes, and like with the same with exhale, when we go through our week, we like don't stop to think about how we're actually feeling, and sometimes we can be vibrating all over the place. Sometimes we can be feeling all things that we're not recognizing. So that's where meditation comes in, because it helps us to stop and think and have that space and that pause to identify how we're feeling. But also journaling. Sometimes I journal quite a lot. Sometimes I'll sit down to journal about one particular thing, and by the end of it, I'm like journaling about something I didn't even know I was feeling. And then I'm like, oh, right, okay, that's the problem. And I didn't realise it. So journaling is really good to help us to express that. And that just free writing whatever comes in your mind is the best way to journal. Just not editing it, not trying to write it for anyone else. Just like spilling out everything onto a page is how we do it. Exactly. So yeah, it's anything that helps us to identify where we're vibrating at the minute, how we're feeling, and then being able to reach for whatever that next level up is.
I find that really empowering, because actually, you know, like if you're really low in mood, even if you just get angry about it is better. And what we'll do, if you remember, is one of us will post in the group the vibrational frequency, so you can see where you can place yourself wherever you are, and then you can reach for that next available stepping stone. Think of it as a ladder. And I just think that's just so freeing that I don't feel like I have to make that massive leap. What's really interesting as well, though, is that you could make that massive leap if your intellectual mind, your subconscious believed that was possible. But I mean, that's probably a whole nother lie. But
yeah,
you know, just being kind to yourself, as you say, is so important. And just think, not beating yourself up, and just, you know, knowing that actually as well, this is a big one, I guess, knowing that, you know, like a positive thought is like way stronger than a sort of negative one. So it's about leaning into those rather than worrying about the more negative thoughts that you might have, and starting to worry that you're bringing in more negative stuff. Because if you can just reach for that one positive thing, it will overpower the rest.
Definitely. That's something that I'm a counsellor as well, and I'm training to be a therapist at the minute, and that one of the things that we use in counselling quite a lot is to combat anxiety is that if you're feeling anxious about something, like you said, and your brain's starting to think of all the threats that could possibly ever happen, a saber-toothed tiger is going to leap out and like eat you, because that's why we feel anxiety, to protect us from things like that in the past. The way to combat that is to hit it with evidence. So it's not just about, so that creates positive feelings. So if you're thinking that something really bad is going to happen and you're worrying about it, then sitting down and looking at the facts, the facts of where you are now, what's happening now in this moment, not what's could happen or what has happened, what's happening right now, and finding a positive in that is a really, really good way to combat anxiety and to raise a vibration, which is as well why the law of attraction and psychology are so much more closely linked than they like to think they are. So because that is a very law of attraction thing to do, raising the vibration, looking for the positive, looking at where you are. And it's also a psychology thing as well, is to look at the facts. So they are, I don't know why they don't just acknowledge that they're the same thing.
Everyone just on board with it right now. And I think that's it. That's something that's been really powerful for me in terms of my meditation practice as well, linked to that, is that the more I meditate, and I can really notice like the muscle in me, in my brain sort of building up, but the more I'm able to catch myself going down that rabbit hole of negative thinking, whereas I think in the past, or when I'm really struggling and I've not maybe been as hot on my meditation practice as I should be, I feel like it's harder for you to spot. Definitely. And you're like this, I say this on practically every live, but like this sticker that's going along the bottom of the screen now, like I imagine it like meditation allows me to be able to read the scroll, read the feed of my consciousness, I guess, and then I can choose then from that point, actually, is that a kind thought, and like, whereas in the past I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that. So I think most people that come to this page anyway are already at least have introduced themselves to meditation, but for me that's like my massive top tip is, like I've already said, change your physiology, hack your emotional state with your physiology. Also, like you've just said, get aware of your thought processes, and you can do that without having to do much other than a few minutes meditation practice each day. The practice of that, the default results, if you like, apart from all the other amazing things about meditation, will help you to be able to catch that feed, that scroll, that meta awareness it gives you, basically. So if you were to pick one extra thing, have you got another top tip that you believe, or you've given us loads, to be fair?
What else would I say? The law of attraction. One thing that I've got from the law of attraction books that I've read that helps is to make some sort of physical reminder to check in. So we do meditation and it helps us to check in with how we're feeling. And another way that we can do that is, Rhonda Byrne says to have a rock or a crystal that is your like gratitude stone. So that's one way to do it. But just I find having that physical reminder to something that you carry around with you. I use crystals quite a lot anyway, so I've always got crystals in my bra because that's the best place to keep them. But having something that is going to remind you throughout the day, so you feel it either in your pocket or in your bra, or you see it on the side, and you're like, right, how am I feeling? And then you just check in again for any negative thoughts, checking where your vibrations are, and just reminding yourself just to go back to that and to give gratitude if that's what you're aiming to do. But just to be mindful of your mindset, really. That's what it is about. Be mindful of where you're at, and having a physical reminder for some people is much easier and more practical than actually trying to find the time to remember to think about how you're feeling, which sounds like really hard.
And that's it. You've got so much going on, haven't you? And you just you're on automatic pilot for most of us, aren't we? And I know meditation sort of stops that a little bit, but if you didn't have that practice, that would, and I really like that idea as well, because literally you have your little stone. I'm the same as you. I've got my little crystal. I've got it in my purse every time, and we don't really pay with cash at the moment, do we? But when I used to open up my purse to pay something, I'm like, oh yeah, like check in, or it just, as you say, you can associate it with what you want to call in your vision for the future. Or I just love it the way that you just spoke about it then, because actually you're less concerned with whether it's working or not, I suppose, in a space when we're worrying about. That used to happen to me a lot. I used to feel like I'd set my intentions, get all excited, do it within the light of the new moon, do all the bits and bobs that they tell you to do, and then I'd be like, oh, has it worked yet? Why is it? And I'm so caught up in the process that is blocking it as well.
Definitely. That's what a lot of people do, though. Just I'm a great believer in the universe will give you what you want, but in the way that the universe thinks is best for you. So it's not I want to be a millionaire, I want to win the lottery, so that is going to happen. No, if there's the feelings that are associated with that. So for example, think, why do you want to win the lottery? Because I want freedom, because I want success, or whatever it is that it would bring. Well, the universe will give you that, but it might not give it you with a lottery win. It'll give it you in some other way. So it's you can look out for if it's working, but usually it just hits you, and you realise when it's happened that it's happened, and it's maybe not in the way that you first thought it would.
I love that. That is so important, isn't it? I just think we do, and that's what you do see everybody go through that process. I used to do that as well. I'd be like, right, well, this is exactly what I want. This is what I'm asking for. Why is it now not happened? But I think as the more that I've developed my spiritual practice, the more I've listened to spiritual teachers and gone on my own meditation journey, the more I really believe in that it's co-creation, isn't it? So it's about us having, and it's really important to have an aligned vision. So with your soul's calling or your soul's purpose. And I think one of the things that has really helped me is having a meditation practice, so that I can really strip back all that doubt, all that fear, all that worry, all of those expectations, all of the things that society wants us to be and do and say, and we think that's what we want, but actually we want something completely different. It allows you just to get back to that place where actually my heart is speaking. So that vision that I have for my future then is really aligned with my soul, so therefore it's much more likely to come forwards, because I see it as like a consultation with source, or with spirit, whatever divine, whatever you want to call it, but we're working together, and spirit's walking alongside me, and I just think that as well, that really helps me stay in that more positive space, because, and you'll have heard me say this a million times before, Caz, but there's that quote that I love from A Course in Miracles that says, if we really knew who walked alongside you, fear would be impossible. So it's like, I can have and be and do whatever I want, and I'm fully supported, as long as it's like in alignment with who I truly am at my core, when I stand in my potential. So not just like the bones of who I am, but that divine version of who I am. Does that make sense?
No, that's exactly, and it's like it's leading with feelings first. So we can have a vision, and we can have a vision board, and that's brilliant. But the things that you're putting on there, and the things that we're designing in our vision for our life and what we want, they should be led by feelings. So it should be, that's on there because that makes me feel good, not because not that getting that would make me feel good. It makes me feel good, the thought of it, and so you're leading with your feelings all the time, not leading with the physical, and then thinking that physical thing will make me feel this. It's leading with the feeling first, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. And it reminds me, I don't know why, it reminds me of, I always think about, obviously, me and you had our relationship dramas and stuff, but now I'm in like a beautiful relationship with somebody, and I think to myself, oh my God, finally it's happened to me. But when I look back, the year leading up to me meeting him, all the Excel, I was doing all the festivals, we were teaching loads of Excel classes, and we were all full, and I was absolutely in love with what I was doing. And there was one particular playlist that I used to have on every single time. It didn't matter what I was doing, all the festivals, all the shows, everything we did, there was one particular playlist, and there was a song on it called Finally. So it's Stephen Peniston, Finally, like the dancey version of it. We have the The acoustic stripped back, beautiful version of it. But I credit, and this will sound mental, but I credit that and the fact that I was so in love with that song and the words, and it talks about me, finally meeting this one person, and and having that experience of falling in love with somebody, because I was singing that song and I was just so happy and in love with that song. Then that's what's brought it into my reality,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that what you mean? That kind of
no, it does
feel good.
It was creating the feeling, but then it's also not being so attached to what we think that final outcome is.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's a very Buddhist way to look at life, is not to be attached to anything physical. But it's like, so you want to feel some way, but then lose the attachment to what you think that should look like.
Yeah,
and it comes in different ways. So it's the same when it comes, when relationships are a perfect example of that. You think it should be like I always thought I was going to get this Cinderella story. I was going to meet Prince Charming when I was really young. I was going to settle down and get a big house and have kids and all that. And when that didn't happen, it's like, oh, okay. But did I ever really want that anyway?
Yeah.
You can get the same feelings and that feeling, that same love and that same security through other ways that not necessarily that. So that's what it's it's not leading with the feeling, not being attached to what the outcome is.
The outcome. And that's it. And I think that it is such a good example, isn't it? Because I was sat there just enjoying the music in that beautiful, chilled out, relaxed space. So what happens to you guys when you meditate in an exhale class happens to us when we're teaching it. So I'm sat there in my power, let go of all my fear and my doubt, my voice, and I'm singing along to this song and calling that in without thinking about it in terms of I am calling in a relationship. That's kind of what you're saying, isn't it? So it's
definitely
expectation, but just enjoying that process and sitting in that space of feeling good. And it worked. Well, I wasn't consciously doing it for that long, like that song, but it worked for me, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I bet it doesn't look anything like you imagined if you went to ask Charlotte that sat there back then, what does this relationship look like? What's the journey going to be together? I know it isn't, so I don't know what I'm saying though. It doesn't look like that, so that's right.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome though, isn't it? And that's another example of, sometimes soul, spirit, whatever, knows what's best for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I love that. So that is, we've been on now for nearly 45 minutes. So is there anything else, before I get you to share where we can find you and everything, is there anything else, or have you covered everything that you wanted to tell us about, the important bits?
No, I think that is the most important thing with anyone looking into the law of attraction or reading on the law of attraction and trying to practice it, is just to leave with feelings. It's just to go with the feelings and don't get drawn into what you should be doing or how you should be doing it. It's just it is all about that feeling and following that feeling of joy and excitement and whatever it is that gives you that. That is probably the most important thing, I would say.
Right, and so easy to implement that, isn't it? That just makes just part of your everyday life. So I would love to share with you. I know how good you are at what you do, and how awesome your groups are, and how amazing you are at teaching Exhale as well. So I'm just going to put on the screen, this is your Crank Club handle. Perfect. So tell us a little bit then about how we can find you, how we can work with you, what we can do with you, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so Crank Club is a online community for spirituality for all. So it's all about breaking down spirituality into ways that we can actually practically use them every day. And also I bring in a lot of the kind of science and research about spirituality as well. So the Crank Club page, you'll find me. It's just a lot of posts about spirituality and how you can use it practically. I also do tarot readings on there as well, but they're very practical tarot readings. It's called the WTF tarot reading. I won't say what that actually means, but so it's like when you get to that point in your life where you're thinking, what the, and you just want a bit of guidance, that's what my tarot readings are for. And also I have a group called Spiritual AF, And at the moment in there, we're doing an unlock challenge, which is a 10-week challenge to help us unlock from all this lockdown and get back out there in the world. So we do lots of things like that, different challenges and different things. And it's just a really nice place. We do a lot of full moon and new moon rituals as well that are all free in there. So yeah, it's just a nice place where people just chat about spirituality and everything else. And I am Exhale with Caz. I have to keep remembering what my new name is. Exhale with Caz. I do exhale classes as well in Runcorn and Widnes mostly at the minute, and online. Is that everything? I'm on Instagram as well. The same at Crank Club on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes, you do check out everything Caz does. Obviously, you're a writer as well. So I should have said, I meant to say right at the beginning, but a lot of what Caz spoke about today has been recently published in an article in a magazine. So she knows what she's talking about. Go follow. And then if you've got any other questions, so Caz is in Exhale's free community, so she will answer questions. So if you've got any, if you're stuck on anything law attraction-y wise, if you want to manifest something in particular and it's just not happening, bearing in mind what we've said about maybe it's not quite what the universe has planned for you, but Caz will do her best to assist you. Same if you've got any questions about meditation, about becoming a meditation instructor, or just taking your business, your meditation or yoga business to the next level, then please do pop a comment either on this live or in the group, and we will see you very soon. So thank you for everyone that's joined us. Thank you for everyone that's commented. I think Emma was saying essentially that she had the same stuff coming up for her, so she's laughing, saying me too. So I think that's what we were talking about, how we used to think it worked and how we now know it actually works. And Emma says great info, thank you. So we'll see you all very soon. Thank you for joining us. See you later.